So, hello and welcome. This is the first pop admin open mic that we are having. And I'm so glad to have part of the admin staff with me. We have Miss Bogdana. And just a moment, Dhiraj is coming in. So, um, we'll admit him as well. So, we'll say hello to Dhiraj. Are you there, my dear? And there you are. Hi, Dhiraj. Good to have you. So we started the recording, and so I want to introduce. Well, we'll go around introducing in the order that everyone signed in, but we're going to start with Dhiraj because he has a commitment he might have to take off for. And what I want you all to do is to introduce yourselves and tell us about yourselves. And I am going to do what I did for another thing, but I've lost the thing. I don't know if anybody was there for that. Bogdana was there, I think. Where I ask questions. We're going to do something a little game that has that. So I'm going to Google 100 questions, and it usually comes up with these get to know you kind of questions. So 100 questions to ask. Let's see. All right, let's see what comes up. All right. And these are, no, those aren't. So, I'm sorry. Technical difficulties. So we're going to start with you, Dhiraj.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm going to give you a question first, and then after I give you your question, go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us about you, and then recite. Why don't you recite 2 poems, since we don't know when you're going to leave us. Our tears are streaming down our face as we think about it.
Firstly, it's really nice to see you all after such a long time. And yes, there are new members to the group. We see Gita, we see Bogdana, we see Lucky. Hi, Lucky, how are you doing? And of course, my brother and a couple of others who have been integral to the group all along. I have Dennis also. Hi, Dennis. Hi, Muhsine. Hi, Zan. Really nice to
see you all. Kansas right now.
Yeah, I think some people I can only see 6 screens right now. So yes, a little bit about me. Being part of POP for I think 8 months, 8 to 9 months now. I joined somewhere in August, just before my birthday, and I think I was very lucky to be part of the group just before I turned 44, and we had a little bit of celebration and. I got lovely messages from everybody. We also started working on the anthology, which I think, Annette, we need to reconnect on to see where we are. And yes, I think we've kind of, left that behind, but need to take that forward. Sarfraz had put in so much of efforts in putting down the manuscript, in doing everything with the illustrations. I think it's time we make sure we, see it through and basically the anthology comes out. So, yes, again, coming back to me, I am an advertising guy, a mad ad guy. Been in the industry for a good 22 years now. Been on the corporate side for 20. And now I operate as a consultant, working with clients based out of Far East, Middle East, Australia, and UK. So, yes, I work with certain clients, Sarfraz in London as well, which is why I'm kind of spread across 4 time zones. And Annette, that is to answer your question when you would see me spending sleepless nights because some of my clients would really keep me up till 4 a.m. in the morning with meetings and stuff like that. Anyways, so I have not been writing much of late. I think it's been about 2, 3 months I've put my pen down and I have been, pursuing a couple of other things. I've been writing a script for a theatrical, which will be an all India tour by one of those renowned celebrity choreographers based out of Mumbai. I don't know how many people know of Sandeep Soparkar. He had choreographed Prince Charles' wedding as well. and he had and he does a lot of these celebrity shows, and he also walks the ramp. So his next theatrical is what is being scripted by me, and thanks to my mentors in the poetry world, that I'm actually able to script it in form of poetry. Yeah, so it's basically blending Greek mythology with Indian mythology. So there's going to be ballroom dancing and classical dancing, and my script is all about dialogues which bring about those two, different universes, two different parts of the world together. Anyways, so that's what I've been doing, and of course, apart from work. Now, as Annette mentioned, I need to go early. I have a family commitment. So my son is basically in his teens, and we cannot leave him alone. So my wife is out with her girls tonight. So I thought I will take the Saturday night and attend to him. So the poetry I wanted to recite, which actually comes out of that, is it's titled as "Family Forever." Yeah, and here it goes. Uh, just for your information, I'm a divorcee. So my wife and I, we live in separate homes, but we are still very good friends. So this poem was inspired by my current status and my relationship with my family. So here it goes. It says, "We may be together or apart, but the bond stays strong, right within the heart. We fight and argue every day, but the love grows on, keeping grudges away. We have differences that keep creeping in, but the connect builds on, fueling relationships within. We spend just few hours together each day, but those precious moments are forever to stay. We take them for granted time and again, but the dependability never goes in vain. We can be we can be our true selves with no pretense. Speaking our heart out is taken with no offense. We are never complete without our family. With their love being around, life forever is lived happily. So that was my piece on family forever. I thought it makes sense sharing this because I'm actually running away from the open mic. As you know, this really sprung up. My wife said she had to go out and she needed me to keep a watch on my son, who's in his mid-teens. So puberty has hit him, hormones are shouting out, and we need to keep a watch on him. So that's one reason. Um, should I go ahead with the second one? So this also is somewhere linked to relationships that I share with my family, uh, relationships that I really value, which is why where I stand today, where I am today, if I am to be reincarnated, and I call this poem Life After Life, I would still want the same relationships, I would still want the same family. And why is what I've kind of penned down as my emotions in this poetry. So it says, life after life. If there is at all life after life, I desire the same, to be just as nice. If I were to be reborn in this world again, I pray for the same family that healed me through all my pain. I would want to be blessed with the same mother and shadow my very father, for there is no other. I wish for the same partner as my caring spouse, be my love in any form, making my home a perfect house. I will for the same children as their parent again, being a better mentor, giving them the best to attain. I seek siblings and friends alike along my reincarnated journey, as life wouldn't be complete without their positive energy. So if I do get blessed with life after life, having all these special relations will make it as fulfilling and nice. That's it. That
Very
was
good. Very heartfelt and sentimental today you are, dear Dhiraj. Love that. So
Thank
I want
you.
to ask you a question. I'm going to ask everybody a question. And since you kind of went down that road, mine is going to be this. Um, what what was your favorite family vacation?
What was my favorite? My favorite family vacation was my son was about 3 months old, and I had been awarded the best employee when I was in McCann in Dubai with a 3 nights, 4 day stay at a five-star resort. I was very junior. I was just what 30 years old, and for me that was a big achievement. Of course, apart from the cash award, I was given a 3 night, 4 day stay, and my son was very little. My wife was nursing him and all, but I actually took that vacation with my wife and my son, and it was probably the best time because I used to keep really busy at work. I never got too much time to spend with her, you know. But those 4 days, I actually discovered so much about my little boy who was barely 3 months, that this is how he's growing up, you know. And I also realized that because I could not spend so much time, he was about 3.5, 4 months old, I could not spend so much time with him. The moment I would hold him, he would start screaming and howling because he would look for his mother. And I realized that I was distancing from him, and I was not connecting. And post that holiday, post those 4 days that I spent with him and my wife, I realized that no, I need to take some kind of course correction and give him that time every evening. So I would make sure I would wrap up work at 8ish, come back home, spend a good 2.5 hours before he was put to bed. And more often than not, I would take the responsibility of putting him to bed at that hour. So I guess that family vacation may not have been like one where you get to see a lot. We were in one resort, we were experiencing the beach, but we really bonded. I reconnected with the family that I had lost those uh, strings with, So I guess that was
That's a
one of the best.
perfect response because I don't think everybody would have taken that, but you are wonderful response. And thank you so much for sharing, and thank you for being such a great part of the
Thank,
admin team. And
thank you.
so I'm going to,
I'll stay on for some time. I'll stay on for at least another 10 minutes.
I'm sorry.
I'll stay on for another 10 minutes and listen to some more poems by Dennis, Sarfraz, and everybody. So I'll be here.
Okay, great. So everybody make sure they're muted. Because if you're not muted when we get this video back and the person's talking, it's gonna very often that it goes on to you. So, all right. And next we have Bogdana. I'm going to give you a
Oh, hi.
question. Actually, I'm going to give you a question, and then you go introduce yourself and do your thing. Now, for the first
Okay.
round, we'll be just sharing one poem. The first round, we let Dhiraj in case he has to go early. So I'm going to say, um, what motivates you to work hard?
Difficult question. What motivates me? I don't know. Maybe there are a lot of reasons. I don't know. I think I'm repeating this again, but if I have to answer the question, no problem. Uh, I said once that my mom, you know, up there from the sky, motivates me. You know, that day when you put that Mother Day video, Annette, for me it was very impressive. And when you asked us to put those photos of our moms, and it was a little painful. It was not your fault, but for me it was painful because, at first Annette, she asked us to put a photo of us together with our moms, and I don't have a kind of photo, this kind of photo, because my mom, I didn't spend time with mom, unfortunately. So, but I was happy that, let's say, with the help of Annette, I made the tribute to my mom. So my mom is there, out there, and she's the first great motivation for me, because I know that if she would have lived, she wanted to be proud of me. So that's what I'm trying to do. And even if it sounds, let's say, humorously or humorous, I I tend to say that even hate helps me sometimes. Even there are people who hate me and they say, I don't care about your writing, you're so stupid and all kind of things. Sometimes it makes me push forward because I say, okay, you say I'm stupid. I'll move forward and I'll show you that I have a lot of people around me who appreciate my work and who like me. And I assure you, they don't like me for my face. They like me for what I do or for my soul, maybe. I don't know, but not for my face. So this sometimes, yeah, sometimes maybe it's harder because, on moment, maybe you're affected of those words, but then you try to think and you say, okay, what bothers me? It's their problem. They hate me. It's not my problem. I should just move on and do my thing. So this what motivates me. um, well, I don't know what to say about me. It's the same problem I have when Annette tells us to introduce ourselves because I don't know what to say. Most of you, you know me. Sarfraz knows me. Dennis knows me. Lucky knows me. Dhiraj knows me too. I don't know. Hita knows me. I don't know very good Muhsine and Zan, but I'm sure they are great, both of them. Uh, as you know, Annette made me an admin here too. I'm a little, I don't know if I'm as good as all the other admins, but I'm trying my best. Um, I'm a sociable person. I like to communicate, to write, to do beautiful things. So I don't know what I should tell you more about me. I think you see me on my face. You read me like an open book. So the first poem of of mine is called The Champion. Let's say I tried to make myself a portrait somehow, and I wrote this when I was a little sadder. I don't write funny poems, so I write a little more sad. I don't want to make Annette cry, but this is my style. So, The Champion. I always dreamed to be a champion. I was not good at sports, but I wanted to make people proud of me. I had been pushing myself even though I was weak. I don't know if I am a champion. I barely have a trophy, but I teach others to be champions. Maybe the only thing that I did is that I struggled to defeat tears for only one smile on my face so that happiness will give me an autograph. Thanks.
Thank you. That was beautiful. I love that. Love it. Love it. And
Thank
we
you.
all love you, Bogdana. You are an important
I
part of the
love
team.
you too. You're all
And
special.
your weekly, videos that you do honoring poets is very important to the site. So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. So Mushin, you are next, and your question. Let me see. I wasn't going down the list. I was kind of trying to take. Okay. All right. Here's one that might be appropriate considering our talk earlier. What makes you laugh the most?
Oh dear. Well, if I say that what makes me laugh, I have to think about it. But all my life, I loved laughing and then having great fun. And actually, possibly, I am the only person in the world who has been given a disciplinary note just because making her friends laughing too much during the breaks. At the high school, uh, I, at 1 year, my class was different than most of my friends because I chose the science classes. I wanted to be a doctor first. And then most of them preferred the literary parts. So we were getting together at the breaks. And then I used to tell them stories. I don't know what I was telling, but everybody was laughing so much. And then apparently other students from other classes started getting together around me too, and I didn't realize. And the teachers decided that this was a danger for passing through or for anything that create any something. So they said that, well, you shouldn't make people laugh. And I said, well, why not? And then I suppose I was a rebellious student also. And I said, well, this is my right, and this is my constitutional right, which were the very big, two big words for my teachers. So I have been taken to the disciplinary commentary, and then I have been given a verbal warning not to laugh and not to make the other people laugh. So I suppose I am one of a person in the world who has been reprimanded for making laugh. But in general, uh, I don't know. I find a funny side and a good side at everything to laugh. I enjoy life. And I'm very serious in one part. And in my writing, I always write about very serious subjects, about women's problems, from rape to sexual harassment, or for being a mother for a disabled child, or suicide, committing suicide, and after effects of the suicide. But in my life, I laugh a lot, and I I love reading. And then when I am reading the books, I found the writer's genius points to tell us something in the best way. Then it makes me laugh. When I watch television, I laugh. And when my friends make a joke, sometimes I'm very serious, but I laugh a lot. And I, I, I don't know. I think that the balance in life is very important. And I know that there are lots of sad points and very grief, so much grief in this world. But the best thing is that we must find a point that we should laugh. And then I think laughing is the best food for our soul. So I love everything. Well, I'm a Turkish person. I'm joining you from Turkey, from Bursa. And let me tell you something, if you don't mind. My name is, it comes from Arabic. And then, so you have to read the last syllable. So my name is Muhsine, because Muhsin is a male name. And so Muhsine is my name. But it was so difficult for lots of my foreign friends. So I used to be a moonshine. So they used to call me Moonshine. And then most of my teachers around the world, that they used to call my family name Arda, because Muhsine or Moonshine was too difficult for them. So they said, all right. So you are Muhsine. Well, since my childhood, I was a reader, and I would say quite a naughty child, actually. I wasn't a very quiet girl, although I was very sickly, and then sitting at home and reading books. And I read the books, whatever I found at home, because my father and my sisters and my brother, they were all great readers. So, but As a child, uh, I looked at the cover of the books. If they were colorful, instead of my father's books, that they were always black or brown. And so I read the books. But for example, in this way, one of my sister's books was a book from Balzac. And at the age of 9, I read Balzac. I don't know what I understood, but I read it because the cover was nice. And I started writing very early, and I wrote some schools gazettes and schools boards, but they were just childish writings. And then I became very serious because my way was always stopped as being a woman, that people were telling me that, oh, as a woman you shouldn't do it, as a girl you shouldn't do it. But in my family I was given every single rights, so I became a very reckless feminist and defend the women's rights. And that's why I left Turkey when I was 23 years old and went to England. And that's where I started learning English. So English is not my native language. And what I do usually, I write my poems in Turkish and then translate them to English. And then I ask a native speaker friend of mine to edit it, just because if you are not a native speaker, it is very difficult to get the right sense of it. So if I make any mistakes when I'm reading, when I'm talking, if I mispronounce something, please forgive me, because next to native English speakers, I'm still a novice. And I love making mistakes. Sometimes I make very funny mistakes. And but when I was in England, I started working at a bar to earn some money. And the first customer asked me and said, "Darling, how are you? Bloody Mary." So I said, "No, no, no, my name is not Mary. My name is Muhsine." Said, "No, darling, I insist on Bloody Mary." I said, "No, my name is Muhsine, not Mary." So anyway, I learned the Bloody Mary in this way, and I learned a lot of words by reading and talking to you and talking to lovely friends. And now I will read one of my, I find, is romantic poems, if you permit me. The best part of love. I tried on all my outfits. None is worthy of meeting you. I dusted every nook and cranny. Still, the cleaning is unsatisfactory. I cooked every meal I can think of. The fridge is brimful, but I am still asking myself if anything is missing. For days, I have been preparing for meeting you. I am in a great haste. I want to be beautiful. I want to be sexy. I want to be very attractive. And no preparation satisfies me. Uh, and I know this sweet anticipation is the best part. At the last minute, when you arrive, forgetting everything in a hurry, so as not to be late, in my daily casual outfit, I will meet you, thinking that not to be taken as very sexy. And while enjoying your presence, I will forget the food in the kitchen. Even with my usual clumsiness, I may break one or two plates in front of you. While warming up, if I burn the food, we might be obliged to go to a restaurant. So, in short, everything will be like the old days, in the most ordinary way. We will be happy, laugh for a while, and at the end of this limited time, you will return to your life, I to mine. But this uncontrollable excitement, this beautiful union, this passionate lovemaking will live in me, in my memory. Believe me. Thank you.
Beautiful. And thank you for pronouncing your name, because I know that I've been mutilating it for so long.
Oh, no
And,
problem.
and then I went and tried to, when you said it, I tried to, Musinia? That's not it?
Muhsine.
Muhsine. So I'm going to call you the lovely Miss Arda. Well, how I always
You're welcome. No problem.
because that way I won't accidentally mess it up. So
No, you can mess it up. Anybody can mess it up. It is no problem because we know in my heart. But Muhsin, you don't say Muhsin is a man's name, and like SD was saying Muhsin, and Bogdana. Muhsin is a man's name, and actually, it is my nephew's name. And so he's Muhsin and I'm Muhsine.
so no one ever called you like Sini or anything like
Yeah,
that?
Sine, actually, yes. Sometimes people call me Sine. Sine
Sina?
is a wonderful part. It is the heart in our culture. So I don't care. But it is really no offense. I don't take it as an offensive way. So please feel free, whatever you call me, because you are all great friends here.
Okay, Dennis.
So can I call you Moonshine then? Is that okay?
I kind of like the moonshine.
Thank you, Dennis. You call me anything. I accept moonshine. I used to be the moonshine for a long time.
That's great. That's great.
Thank you. It is a great pleasure to be with you all. Thank you. Now I'm ready to listen to my friends. Yeah.
Dhiraj, it says you raised your hand. Did you have something to say?
I would need to exit now. It was lovely meeting everybody. Hi, Dennis. I can see you now.
Okay,
So
bye.
it's really a pleasure. I shall join you guys soon. We should have more of these open mic sessions or casual conversations. Take care, everyone. All the best. Love you all.
And hello, Miss Rita. Glad that you're here, and we'll be calling on you later. So glad that you could join us. So next up, we have the lovely Zan. If you would unmute yourself, dear, I'll give you your question, and then you can do your thing.
Okay.
Let me see if I can find a question. I kind of changed channels for a moment. So let's see. What has been your proudest accomplishment in life?
In life? Oh, that's a good one. That's a hard one too. Let's see. First of all, I say motherhood is the proudest. I gave birth to 2 children, and I'm very proud of them, a son and a daughter. And I have 5 grandchildren. I also have 2 bonus daughters that make me proud. But I've got to throw in, being a poet makes me pretty darn proud as well. I'm proud to be a best-selling author, and proud to be sitting here with this group, proud to be with Pop. I'm just proud. That's a hard question. Thanks. You want me to say a little about who I am? Okay, I come to you from Colorado. We went from 90 degrees 2 days ago to snow. It's 32 degrees right now. It's a beautiful place to live. I grew up in Louisiana, small town, Hammond, Louisiana. I moved to Colorado for school, and I never left. I attended the University of Colorado, where I also worked as the head of human resources, and I retired from the university in 2007. At that time, I thought I would maybe publish some of my poems, but I didn't. Life got in the way. I had too much fun traveling with family, traveling with friends. And it wasn't until COVID-19 shut us down, the lockdown made everything quiet, and I was able to hear my inner voice. And actually, God said, "You have nothing else to do. You can't see your family, you can't see your kids. Pull out your poems and publish your book." And that's what I did. So that's what brings me here. I think the poem, I had thought about a couple different poems to start out with, but I'm going to read my poem called What Matters, because in light of the shooting in Buffalo, New York, I think it's important to remind people of what's important, what matters. So I will share that poem now with you. If your eyes met my eyes in the midst of a crisis, would their shape and color concern you? If you felt my hands as they massaged your aching body, would you care about the pigmentation of my skin? If I gave blood to replenish your low supply, would you need to know that I looked like you? If you were drowning and I dove in to assist you, would you reach toward me if you knew I was gay? If you were hearing for the first time in your life, would you need for my voice to speak English only? If your loved one lay sick and dying, would it matter to which God I prayed? If I donated money to support your favorite cause, would you refuse it if you knew how I voted? If the size of my heart increased each time I helped somebody, would you be more interested in the size of my body? If you asked me to walk a mile in support of humanity, would you get impatient if I used my wheelchair? If I said no and you assaulted me anyway, are you less guilty because I waited to report? If my family seeks asylum in the USA, are we not welcome because our border is to your south? If the police force keeps killing unarmed citizens, would you demand justice if they are African American? With civil unrest during this global pandemic, trust me, we will soon realize what matters. Thank you.
Wow, that's powerful. As you always, you're such a deep thinker, and you always bring to the forefront thoughts that we should all think about. And
Thank you.
wonderful, Zan. Thank you so much. You're a wonderful person, as are you all. And next up, we have the lovely, beautiful Miss Gita. If you would go ahead and unmute yourself, darling. There
Hi.
you are. Hi, Gita. Good morning.
Good morning.
Are you concerned about what question I might ask you? You look a little apprehensive. Okay, here's an easy one. What did you used to want to be when you were small? When you grew up? When you were little, what did you want to be?
Yeah. Since from the very beginning of my childhood, I didn't know much about what are the prospects, future prospects, and being born and raised in Indian education system, we always learned how to aspire big. And so I didn't know what were the prospects, what I can do in life, but I remember always I was having a dream that whatever the highest degree, I will attend that. And I would finish all those studies. So, what is the last degree? I would have that. So, since from my childhood, I had a thought and ambition, I'll finish all the studies. So, I didn't know what it is or what to finish, but I thought that whatever would be the last one in the highest, I would touch that. So, when I grown up and in school, I came to know different streams and all, then I always had a thought definitely I would go for a PhD in science. And I did that. I'm happy.
Very good. Very good. So tell us about you and whatever you wanted the world to know about you.
What the world would know about me?
Whatever you'd like to share.
Okay. I'm a very passionate person. Look the world in a very positive way. I don't like to judge people, whoever, whatever they are, because in every being I see a reflection of the Almighty. And even if somebody treated me ill or bad, still I don't carry in my memory that the next person I would deal accordingly cautiously, but I don't know that cause consciousness it isn't there. I treat everyone from very basic nature. I do not judge and calculate and not that way. So that is maybe a drawback or a good quality, I don't know, but that happens always. Even if many times my friends and relatives, family, they get worried that simply you believe people, simply you take them without understanding, without judging. But I don't like to judge people. So that is one thing, because I have a faith. I strongly believe there is some cosmic energy, there is a supreme power, and all of we are the reflection of Him. So I don't believe in denying that truth, doubting somebody, whatever they do. But from my side, I try to be who I am always. Um, so, and one of my passion is to serve the needy people. So presently, I am working with visually challenged and economically challenged kids in India for their college education. Almost 70 students. We are sponsoring them. So that is a big thing, which is now I'm involved in, and it motivates me. I don't think that we are doing something, rather I feel we are getting much more of happiness for my soul, and it's worth doing. It's so much satisfying when you do something without any expectation, without having yourself in it. And so that is one thing I am into primarily, and I teach here in a university. I teach biology. So education is definitely one of my passions. Serving is another part, and of course, the love of mine is the poetry. I love poetry. Especially, I love to write the philosophical angle, because I think whatever it may be women empowering, or it may be a voice um, you want the world to hear. It may be about the love, life, whatever you take. But when you go to the fine layer, the cream is always the philosophy. So any stream you pick, the cream is the philosophy. You go, when the more refinement you go, it is the fine things. And where every field merges, whatever topic you choose, every field merges over there. So that is one of my passion to to understand and to feel, to know more and more about the unknowns. So as much as I know, I feel more to know about many things which I don't know. So that is another thing I look for, to know the world, the people, the cosmos, or anything. I am keen to know the things. So that is all about me. And I'm loving to be as an admin in the passion of poetry, as Annette, such an inspiring person, and I loved her positive personality and always a loving being whom I found. She is so motivating, so encouraging. She has given literally an identity when I was not even an admin. I was writing in passion of poetry. So many of awards, ranking number one based on the reader's opinion, or the what it is called, the comments and all. So that has given me a lot of confidence that, yeah, I'm loved by the people. People are liking my work, and it is getting appreciated. So I can correlate myself with the world. Yeah, people are hearing me. That is a big motivation to write, of course. I don't count much of the awards and accolades what I get. Neither I am too much keen about it. Yeah, of course they are. It's a good feeling to get those, but I never long for those. When it has to come, it would come in that way. I count rather those are the love and blessings of the readers and the people around me. That's it. But I do not try to take it as my achievement counts or something. No way. I just take it as a love, or in that way I take it. So Annette's side, that time, passion of poetry, a lot of competitions, these that were going on, and so uh, I was so keen in participating those things, and now I lost much of interest, and not even for competition. I don't feel writing much, but I write what I feel to write, not on the topics what is given, because you get diverted from your thoughts and all what you want to say. So yeah, it is needed, but now I prioritize what I want to write. And another thing is, in passion of poetry coming, I came to know so many wonderful people. All the admins there, they are so cooperative, so loving, like a family. Little bit chit chat, this that, and it warms you up, and it keeps you in the environment, writing environment. That's so motivating. I love you all, guys. Especially Annette, as in when I find any trouble, she's always there to help and motivate and to encourage. So thank you so much, Annette, for all those lovely things you did to me. And that's what it is all about. Now, should I go for my recitation or something? Okay. I would like to recite my first poem. Title is Stay Blessed. Where is that cosmos, hiding all the mystic mysteries, under whose possessive possession, and they get exposed to few only, tagged as blessed ones, for the blessed life living, and beyond even? Who the blessed ones are? What are the criteria to be blessed? Philosophers or subject dwellers? Yogis or material lovers? Karma believers or karma unbelievers? Positive thinkers or negative thinkers also? Universe lovers or loving partner also? Unconditional lovers or love with the emotions and associated expectations also? Unconditional doers or result seekers? Unattached ones or the attached ones? The knowers or the ignorant also? The commoners or uncommoners? The believers or non believers? the higher creatures with the intellect and awakened consciousness, or the lower creatures too, with lesser intellect and smaller consciousness. Whatever, whoever, though I am not sure, but something is there, unknowingly, automatically, a wish comes at the end of a conversation, at the end of a meeting. An urge I feel to say is, be blessed, stay blessed, for all, irrespective of the beings. Thank you so much, dear all.
Beautiful. Thank you, Gita. You have such a sweet, sweet heart. Love
Thank
you
so much.
too. Now we're going to Kansas, where Dennis Brown. He's actually not in Kansas, but hopefully this storm has passed, Dennis.
Yeah, I'm still here in Michigan, so that's good. That's a good thing. So very good.
So let me give you your question, and then you can do your thing. Let's see.
All right, I don't like how you're waiting, taking a long time to choose here, Annette.
If you were doing karaoke, what song would you sing?
Oh, geez. First of all, I love to sing. I don't do it well at all. So, most of the time it's private. I have done some karaoke nights, but that's after a few beverages, and getting a little braver. But I don't know. I'm I'm a big hair 80s person, always have been. So I would do a lot of that kind of stuff. I'm a big fan of the band Poison and Bret Michaels. That's just a lot of that stuff. It'd be big hair music, I guess. In particular, there actually was a song I used to, every time I went to the bar, I sang it, and I don't know why, but it was a song by Uncle Kracker, and it was called "Follow Me." So I don't know who's familiar with that, but for some reason I thought I could do that the best. So that was always my go-to song. But I don't even know where Uncle Kracker is anymore. But I know he's part of Kid Rock's posse. But yeah, that's anything 80s probably I'd like to sing. So, all right. Well, just a little bit about myself. Obviously, you guys all know me for the most part. Been with the Passion of Poetry now for a while, and it's been a crazy ride. Just all of it. It's just from I'm trying to think. It's been, how long have you had it, Annette? How long have you had the Passion of Poetry? It's been what now?
Well, on May 31st, it will be 2 years. That's our
Okay.
2-year anniversary. Yeah.
So probably about a year, 3 months, 4 months is when I jumped on. So yeah. So I've been here for a lot of the ride, and it's been fun. It's crazy that we're growing to 22,000, 23,000. That is just nuts to me. Like it's amazing, but it's a testament to you, Annette, and to all of you guys for what you're doing, because it's it wouldn't be part of it without it. But yeah, a little bit about myself. I am a teacher. I'm an educator at the middle school level. I taught 15 years at the high school, and now I'm at the middle school, and I've been there 7 years already, which didn't seem that long, but it's been 7 years. We got about 14 school days left until the end of the year. I am counting them down, as all the teachers do. It's 14 school days, and it's going to open up a lot of time. It's just this end of the year is just crazy. Just getting things done, and doing a lot of the paperwork and all that kind of stuff. So, but I enjoy it. It's my passion. I think I'm looking at about 8 years, maybe 8 more years, and then I might start to. It's been difficult, to say the least, the last few years. I mean, I know, as parents, but as educators, you see it. The kids. There's some mental, emotional things that have been going on the last few years, and not just with staff, but with kids. And it's kind of it's very disheartening. But just a lot of stress and a lot of just not able to just really cope. Like I think kids nowadays are having a lot more trouble than we did in the past. You know, when we just had, I don't know, it just seemed like we had more tools. I don't know why that is, but nowadays it's just the kids struggle with that. And I don't know if you see it all over the, different places of the world, but it's times have changed a little bit. But needless to say, I love doing what I'm doing. And actually had somebody visit me. I had him as a student about 5 years ago. He came in and visited me. And if you want to know the truth, I couldn't quite remember his name. I'm like, oh, wait, who is this? But then I remembered, and, but he obviously remembered me. So we got talking about it. So it's just those little things that make it matter, and make these 22 years now that I've taught, makes it nice to be able to know that at some point, they remember you. So, and speaking of that real quick, I don't want to get sidetracked, I know, but Annette, we ended up, one of the ladies where I work, they throw her a retirement party. Well, they surprised her with a cover band of Kiss. She's a huge Kiss fan. So they surprised her with this cover band of Kiss. They're really good. And so we got to dress up. Guess who I dressed up as? Gunnar Rose. So yeah. So I had my long hair and all that stuff, and it was a lot of fun. I got to do that again. But anyways, I think I'm going to read this one. It's one of my newer poems. It's called Faded Times. William Warrigan actually put it into the Willie Wash Press or whatever. He did it, but it's talking about age, and obviously we're all getting older. So it's called Faded Times. Here it goes. Faded times of yesteryear, memories now stored behind, etched in moments not so near, kept within my unkempt mind. Dreams that linger in the past, held behind my brows of age, hopes that willed their way to last through stories on each torn out page. Days have numbered my place on earth. The hands of time has slowed its pace, ticking loudly for all I'm worth, shown among my weathered face. Life has had its way with me. I was at the mercy of what it gave. It set me on a path set free, but led me through every pave. As I make my wish upon the night to the brightest star that I can find, in hope that my life has turned out right through faded times now left behind.
Beautiful, Dennis. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It was very heartfelt. It was wonderful. Thanks for sharing more of you, Dennis. Appreciate it. And thanks for hanging in there with me all this time. So appreciate it. So next we have the romantic poet, dear Sarfraz from the UK. If you would like to unmute yourself, dear. And are you there?
I'm there. I'm here.
Oh, there you are. Okay, great.
I just saw what question you're going to ask me. So I'm just thinking, oh my God.
Okay, let me come up with something interesting. Okay, here you go. If you could eat one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Oh my God. That's so hard. I like Italian food, and I like Indian food as well. So I don't know. It's between the Italian risottos, lasagnas, and all of those, and I love the Indian food. I think probably I'm going to stick with Indian food. Gita's going to say yes. I says yeah, because I can't live without. I think after a couple of days, I think I need a bit of spice in my life. But yeah, I think yeah. Yeah, and I love Turkish food as well, Muhsine, as well. I'll be coming to Turkey soon. Yeah, in July. Yeah, I'll message you. I'll message you. I'm coming
Okay,
in July. Yes, I'm coming in to Istanbul in July for a week, and I can't wait.
great. For holiday or for poetry?
I wish it was for poetry, no, but I'm going with a friend who does business in Turkey. So he went a couple of months ago, and he was chatting to me every night. And I said, "Why don't I come with you?" So I'm going with him. We booked the hotel and everything. I can't wait.
Okay, message me.
I'll message you. I'll message you.
Okay,
We might meet up if it's. It might. We might. It may happen.
that's right. Okay,
Sorry,
I'm
Annette.
so glad.
Sorry, Annette. Okay, about food. Brilliant. Okay. Um, right. Should I read something for you guys? Okay. So Zan was talking about one of the poems that I posted out recently. Is still my beating heart. Yeah. Which which has never been published anywhere, I don't think. And I unearthed it and put it out there, and it's got so much attention. So I'm going to read it out to you today. And this is very, very romantic poem called "Be Still, My Beating Heart." Be still, my beating heart. Don't move, don't let it start. For I can hear the rumblings from deep down below, afraid that my feelings may come on show. Reveal to the world the things that I hide, but I can still hear the waves crashing from deep down inside, crushing the heart of me, a turmoil of emotions floating upon life's bitter sea, slowly tearing me apart. So please don't move. Be still, my beating heart. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. That was
I'm,
wonderful.
I'm going to put that somewhere. That has to go in a book, doesn't it?
Of course.
Somewhere. It has to go somewhere. Be
It
still,
will,
my beating heart.
the title's wonderful as well.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much, dear romantic poets. And next we go to Nigeria. To Lucky, if you would unmute yourself, please, sir. And hello.
Hello,
Good to have you here.
great to be among.
I will read you your question, and then you can tell us about you and recite your poem. Um, I'm just trying to. What is the best gift you've ever been given?
Wow. Okay. Gift. Oh, life. Life to me is the best gift. I am grateful for my parents and being able to draw breath, being healthy, and being able to meet up some unique challenges. It gives me great joy. So I think life is my greatest gift because without it, I wouldn't be able to express myself. I won't be here. So life is my greatest gift. Yeah.
Go ahead and tell us a little bit about you and recite your poem for us. Thank you.
Okay, I am Lucky Steven Onyah from Nigeria. I happen to be a poet by happenstance. Of course, COVID was a great motivation. I was bored 2019, and a student of mine just told me, why don't you participate in a competition that was held sometime in November? Creative writing for 30 days, non-stop creative writing. So that was a push. So I took part, and to my surprise, I emerged as the best. And ever since, I told myself I won't stop writing. And I'm a professional teacher, a mathematics teacher. I happen to be in a top admin and also have my own school. So that is about me. So I think I'm going to read a poem now.
Go ahead. Thank you.
I'll be reading the poem. I'll be reading the poem titled heal the world. Given the situation in the world currently over, uh, I've been so concerned about the invasion of Ukraine, and I have written several lines unlike any other war. And I think all the poets around the world should join their voice and make it count. So my title will be Heal the World. And combat by isms, the war-torn schisms, by ideological prisms, we may talk witticism while manifest altruism. Where is our humanity, our essence in divinity, upholding life's dignity, conscience, and purity, laid within true clarity? What's the tug of war that hunts and spore, mad avarice for more, in ways unseen afore, inflicting global sore? Poets, arise and inspire, with healing verse, sire. A broken word, rewire, by in your verse, aspire. Help our world respire. Thank you.
Thank you. That was great. Thank you so much. And thank you for being a member of Pop. You're a huge part of it as well. So we enjoy having you as an admin as well. The lovely Rita, we're going back to India. And if you would unmute yourself. Hi, Rita.
Hi. Sorry for coming late. Actually, all of a sudden, some guests came and I had to sit with them, serve them tea, and also I was late. I apologize for all this.
That's okay. No problem. So I'm glad that you joined us. So your question, I'm going to ask you a question, answer it, and then tell us about you and recite one of your poems. And your question is what you would do if you won the lottery.
Sorry, what would you do?
If you won the lottery. Do they have lotteries in India?
No, I didn't understand.
So what would you do?
It is lottery ticket.
A lottery ticket. If you won the
Lottery.
lottery
Oh.
and you won all kinds of money tomorrow, what would you do?
Oh, okay. Well, 1 second. Yeah. If I win a lottery ticket, well, first of all, I would like to spend the money on the, deprived children. That is the first thing I would love to do, because they are the ones which suffer a lot. And I am actually with a NGO, and that's what we always do, that we are giving money, and we have a school, and we teach the children there. We go there, and the deprived children, say around 40 to 50 every year, some new children, they are there, and we teach them. And for 3 to 4 years, those children will be in our school, and after that, we take them to the other schools, the higher for the higher classes, and we get them admitted there. And then we also give them tiffins and uniform, books, everything we provide. And even you must have heard about Vrindavan. So in Vrindavan, we go there, and we give saris and blouses, petticoats to the widows there. And even on Diwali, we all decorate certain diyas, and we sell them, and all the money which we get, we spend on these kids. So even if I get a lottery ticket, first of all, I will surely help these children. And then, of course, for the country, anything I am able to do, whatever for these children and for country, that will be my first preference.
Very good. One thing I think you need to do with your money if you win the lottery is pay for a Pop admin cruise. Just saying. Wouldn't that be lovely? So,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the money left, of course, I would love to go for a trip and meet you. I really, that is my passion to meet you, Annette. I really would love to meet you. The way you always, give shower love to every one of us, and you are a really, really very loving person. And I just love that, your positivity and helping others, everything. And I would love to meet you. And of course, Sarfraz, I think, also is there in the stage. So we will love to meet. And Gita, she's also there, I remember. So if I go, of course, I must meet all of you.
very good. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
my dream someday is that I can meet all of you as well. So
Uh,
go ahead and tell us about Rita and then go ahead and read a poem.
and if you get a chance to come to India, that will be very, very good. I would love to meet you, Annette. If I'm not able to come, at least you come and we'll all, meet and,
Yeah.
like,
It's
have a,
actually on my bucket list, so it's there.
yeah. So, uh, the poem which I'm going to recite also is something about this only: live life to the fullest. No, one gets a life and one should really enjoy that life and live to the fullest. So, the title of my poem is Live Life to the Fullest. Life should be lived as you want, with full of ecstasy, one must dance. Celebrate every day as a new day, full of zest and zeal, one must stay. If sometimes there are thorns on the way, think them to be as a temporary phase. Look at the positive side of the day. You will see bed of roses with hay. Life is a blend of happiness and sorrows, sometimes grey, another time new morrows. Live life full of love and enthusiasm, with precious moments and beautiful flowers. Fill your life with bright and colorful hues, celebrating with beautiful vibes and adventures anew. Let love flow from your beautiful, sweet heart, jumping with happiness and glowing every hour. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Rita. That was lovely, as are you. So thank
Oh,
you
thank
so
you.
much for sharing.
Thank you.
Um, so I'm going to recite a poem that I recently wrote. I probably recited the last few things I went to, but it's an important one. And so it's important that I think that as people on earth that I very much value every person and think that all of us have our story in life and that we all make our mark in life somehow and we all have purpose and no matter what walk of life we may come from. And I think that it's important that when we leave some type of mark as we are doing through our writing. So but the other day I visited a patient. This is the one that's a video. But I visited a patient who she's on a ventilator and she can't verbally speak. And she always has me read her a poem. And so I read her a poem and she got a little teary eyed. And when I come into her, she always has this great smile. Her eyes just light up with this glow. And after I got done reading, she kept trying to mouth something, which I could not figure out what she was trying to say. But finally, I got, she said, "Will you remember me?" And I said, "Yes, I will always remember you." So sometimes people come into our lives and we only meet them once, but we remember them for the rest of our lives. They make an impact on us. And I will remember you. And the next time I come, I'll write a poem. Will you remember me? So, and this is I think the video came out good. I didn't have Alan do it. I did the recitation, but I think it came out pretty good. Actually, it's got, I think, almost 300 in a week's time, has 360 views on YouTube, which isn't that much compared to some people. But of all my videos, I think my highest one is like 400 and something, and it's been out for a year. So in a week's time, it's almost reached it. So will you remember me? Once I was vibrant and full of life. A bold and strong woman was I. Youth and energy enveloped my spirit, invincible and spry. No constraints to what I could do, only limited by my mind. Of a tough stock I was made, yet I was gentle and I was kind. Will you remember me when I'm gone? Will you remember my smile? Will you remember the dance of my eyes, knowing me was worthwhile? Now I am older, my hair is gray, it's lost its luster and sheen. I still feel young at heart. I'm not really as old as I seem. My mind is clear as I think what impact I have made. Wrong choices I once chose. Tears lined the path I paved. Will you remember me when I'm gone? Will you remember my smile? Will you remember the dance of my eyes, knowing me was worthwhile? I miss you, my friend. Now you are gone. Your spirit is at rest. I miss your laugh. I miss your voice. Your smile was always best. An impression you made within my soul, kindred spirits from the start. I felt your angelic spirit ascend when from this earth you did depart. I will remember you, my friend. Dazzle the stars with your smile. Glow of the moon dances in your eyes, knowing you was worthwhile. So, to all of us, I will remember all of you, and you all have made an impact, impression in my heart. So, thank you very much. So, round two, we're going to have one time for one more round. It will go quickly. Everybody will just recite. I'll call on you. You recite your poem, and then we'll go on. And so we're going to start back with Bogdana. If you would unmute yourself, dear, that would be
Sure,
lovely.
Annette.
Thank you.
Well, this time my poem is called The Voice of an Angel. So this one, it's about mom. My mother is a special angel. She lives in heaven on a cloud. I hear her voice whispering me, "My dear, your laughter is so loud." But sometimes I'm in pain and cry, and over me is a gray cloud. I hear her voice whispering me, "My dear, your crying is so loud." And so she covers me with wings, and in my dreams she speaks out loud. Dear God, I am so proud of her. I am so proud. Thanks.
Love it. Thank you. That was beautiful. A nice tribute to your mother. Thank you. Thank you for
You
sharing that
too.
with us.
I
Now
want to ask. I want to ask one thing. How do we write the comments? Like you all are writing, I don't know how to reply back.
right part of the screen, there should be little icons. One of them is a people icon, and next to it is um, a little thing that looks like you're saying something, and that's the comment section. Do you see that to the right lower part of where you are? That's on my laptop. There should
Okay.
be
In the
comments.
phone, it is written only report a problem, share screen, call messages, show captions, nothing else, activities and setting.
What did it say? Is it there should be one that says chat with everyone. You don't have that. Here, I don't know if I can. Let me see if I turn this around and show my screen. Hold on.
Okay, let
Your
it be.
tires.
Okay.
Do you
We
see
can
it?
okay, continue. Continue. No, I don't know. I'll ask
No.
some other time. Okay.
Okay.
You can-
Well, right here it says share your screen. I don't know if I can. Can you see this part right down here?
Share your
This
screen.
part? Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you see this part down here where my mouse is? I don't know if my mouse is showing it. It's the lower right hand corner. It's an icon on the bottom, very bottom.
I'm talking from my mobile. I don't know if it is there in the mobile.
Well, you might not have that option. I thought you did, but okay. But keep
Okay.
looking for it. You might find it before we're done. All right.
Okay. Okay. You carry on, please.
Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you. And so next we have the beautiful, the lovely Ms. Arda.
Thank you so much, dear Annette. You are a wonderful and most positive person I have ever met. And but I don't know how beautiful I am, but I'm trying to be good and a great follower of all of you. You are all great poets. So, do you want me to read my funny poem again? Okay. Well, this might be the answer for Dennis's problems with the students, what's going on with the students, and also for Lucky. Attention-sucking vampires. My smartphone is really smart, connects me with the world. WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, sine qua non. If I'm bored with chats, it entertains me with games. I don't need teachers or at school. Google, Mr. Know-it-all, is just at my fingertips. It even thinks for me, shows me what I like to buy, or reminds me to send birthday wishes. My being a couch potato in front of the telly suits me. My mother is very funny, places garlic on my telephone and telly. Isn't she silly?
I love it. And I
Thank
still
you.
laugh. And I still laugh.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing
Thank
that.
you, dear friends.
Okay, Ms. Zan, you are next, my dearest.
Okay, Miss Zan is going to share a poem called Whispers from Heaven. I welcome the whispers, softly spoken, uttering, I'm so proud of you. When love calls from heaven, I smile. Angelic, reassuring voices appear just when I need a nudge. Tender messages from my loved ones comfort me in perpetuity on earth. I receive and retain them deep within my soul. It is well with my soul. Keep whispering. I'm listening. Thank you.
Love it. Thank you so much, Zan. Loved it. Loved it. Loved it. Thank you. And next we have the lovely Gita. If you would unmute yourself, my dearest.
Thank you so much, Annette, for coming back again to me. Okay. My second composition I'm going to recite. The title is Lingering Nostalgia. I heard the intensity of your intensely intense silence. I conveyed diligent diligence of my tender voice. We shared enough of our ethereal intimacy. We shared enough of our ethereal intimate intimacy in silence. Still, much left. Unsaid, unheard, unshared. Let the lingering nostalgia linger in the ether till eternity. Let the earnest eagerness proceed, maintaining its magnanimous magnitude of magnanimity, with its plethora of emotions, till it merges with the vastness beyond the worldly world's horizon, somewhere in the cosmic zone. Thank you so much.
Thank you. That was beautiful. Beautiful.
Thank
You know, part of the criteria for me picking admin staff is that you all are stellar poets. So there you go. Anyway, thank you so much. Dear Sarfraz,
Thank
you are
you.
next. Oh, wait a second. I'm sorry. Sarfraz, you're going to have to wait. It's actually Dennis. He hasn't gotten blown away yet, so he's next.
All righty. So this next one, excuse me. I had a poem turned into a song by Johnson once, and I wrote another one. And I'm like, this has got to be a song someday. So hopefully, it's called "Tattoos and Broken Hearts." Her name was placed inside a heart inked just for her, as I vowed my love forever, true love as if it were. She was all I ever longed for, an angel just the same, as I confessed my true love for her on an arm marked with her name. Now her love for me has faded as the ink on me stands strong, but like the mark left in my heart, its stains hold on too long. She left me on one stormy night, like a dark cloud passing through, and I'm reminded each and every day by a glimpse of my tattoo. Now I look toward the brighter days, but I can't forget the pain. Tattoos and broken hearts are all that still remain.
Sounds like a country song.
I know, that's what I think. I was thinking
Yeah.
the same thing myself, and I put a
Well,
couple choruses in there.
The one I read a little bit ago, I Will Remember You. I wrote it like a song. I wrote it with a repetitive verse.
Yes.
I think I could get somebody to make it a song, but isn't happening. So maybe someday. I need right. I have musician friends too, but nobody ever bites, so I don't know. So thank you, Dennis. That was great. Loved it. Loved it. Next we have from the UK, the great Sarfraz. You are up next, sir.
Thank you, Annette. Thank you, Annette. Okay, so I'm going to read my next poem. It's actually a poem which I put into the last book, which was this one, which was kind of a reissue of my debut poetry collection. But I had the chance to add more poems to it. So the first one had 60, so I had a chance to put 24 more in. So that was quite exciting. And then I came across this poem, which I wrote such a long time ago that I forgot it. And it's become a bit of a cult classic, I call it. A lot of young people are finding it and sharing it back to me on Instagram and saying they love this poem called Poor Cow. So I'm going to read Poor Cow to you. So it's the first time I've read it. And it's it's very interesting. And you can tell me if you don't understand bits of it because it's quite British in parts. Okay, Poor Cow. Here she goes again, wearing that dress that's 2 sizes too small. Here she goes again, out on a pub crawl, wearing makeup and jewelry that must weigh a ton, and wearing clothes that leave nothing to the imagination. Someone that old will catch a death of cold, out and about, letting it all hang out, treating each night as if it was a hen night, wearing clothes so very tight, surely cannot be right. No amount of wigs or contact lenses can hide that what's underneath. No amount of lipstick can hide those yellow teeth. She looks like a bag lady without the bag, a bad impression of a man dressed up in drag. Wearing no knickers, she has nothing left to reveal except when she falls off those stiletto heels. Perhaps somebody should tell her how she looks, but I don't think anyone has the guts. Perhaps it will break her heart if you were to tell her the truth. Perhaps the poor cow was only trying to relive her youth. Thank you.
Love it. Love that last line.
Do you? Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, it's a very different poem that I kind of write, but I loved writing it. I loved reading it as well. So exciting. Yeah.
That was great. Thank you. So next we have Lucky Stephen Onyah. If you would unmute yourself, dear sir, and share with us your poem.
All right, I'll be taking a poem. It is called Poet's Artistry. It is a combination of three micropoems, a haiku, a Fibonacci, and a tanka. For the haiku, words Smith's seraph's blade, surgically discerning, unveil heed intent. For the Fibonacci, inked right diffuse, sweet fragrance, spreads with healing wing, inspire, reprove, correct, and teach. For the tanka, bespoke poetry, products of aspiration, artistic insights, offspring of meditation, always a refreshing fount. Thank you.
So much. That was beautiful. Your writing is always so marvelous. Now, Miss Lovely Rita, if you would share with us your poetry.
Oh, okay, the poem now, I will recite a poem, Bloom Like Flowers. Okay. I love flowers with beautiful vines running around to catch butterflies. So wonderful it is under the bright blue skies to dance and skip and fly so high, singing melodious songs with magnificent vibes. I dance under the beauty of the azure sky. This is felt by me on the very first try. Like birds, I like to have wings and fly. I bloom like flowers in the enchanting garden, spreading sweet aroma and playing the mouth organ. So tender is the feel of the daylight breeze. I shall sing and dance into the night to please you, my sweet, magnificent friends. I have all of you to be grateful for you give sweet smile on my face and make me enthralled with love and grace. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Rita. That was lovely.
This is
Well,
the poem I wrote because I one day I was just, I couldn't sleep in the night and I was thinking about my childhood days, like how we used to run around with friends and catch butterflies and pluck flowers and in the garden and all. And so this thought came into my mind. And then I wrote this poem about the butterflies and flowers and the mouth organ. My brother used to play the mouth organ very nicely. So I remembered all these things, and this poem, came into my mind, and I
you have
just
all
wrote
this beautiful imagery you shared with us. Yeah, it's a great
it.
poem. Loved it. Loved it. And
Thank
always
you.
love hearing
Mhm.
the background of how people write some poetry. So I
Annette, you are mute.
I didn't teach you all how to read lips. I'm sorry. I should have done better. This is I will share one last one. This is it was kind of a sad time of year for me. This is the time when my dad and brother were killed in a plane crash 42 years ago. It was actually the 23rd of May. So, but my dad was only 37 when he passed, but had a huge impact on me. So I want to read one I wrote a while back. It's probably been last year. It's called "The Father Who I Adore." It has been quite some time since you have been gone. Days come and passed, and at last we carry on. This does not mean that I have ever forgotten you. I remember your wisdom and your sound points of view. You gave me a sense of importance. You had great faith in me, giving me fresh insights of the truths in life I could see. You taught me nothing is impossible. I could accomplish anything, teaching me that despite my obstacles, freshness a new day will bring. It was from you that I learned kindness, grace, and empathy, how to be strong and fight my battles and not give in to sympathy. You helped mold me into this loving and caring person I have become, counting my blessings each day, giving thanks before the day is done. You will be so proud of your grandchildren who you never knew. They are my heart and soul, just as I once was to you. It is not many days that you were here on this earth. To the sky your soul did flee. It was there. Days pass by. Your face I don't see. Your voice I don't hear anymore. You will always live in with my heart, my Father, who I adore. So for you, Daddy, there you go. So I just want to say thank you all for, go ahead and unmute so you can just say whatever you want. But we're going to say goodbye. And I thank you all for coming and sharing on our first Pop Admin open mic. We'll have to do it more often.
Yeah.
And
Thank you too for inviting.
Yeah, thanks Annette, for sorting
Thank
it
you so much, Annette, for
Yeah.
organizing this and having an interaction. I mean, looking at each other, it's really very important for bonding also.
yeah,
You were all great,
Oh,
all of you, and you had nice poems, and I cried and I laughed, and I love the fact that I met Zan and Muhsine, Muhsine or something like that. I hope it's
Moonshine.
okay now.
You are great.
I'm trying to say better, and sorry for misspelling the first time. And
No
I'm really
problem.
happy I was with
No
you
problem.
guys, so I had a nice Saturday with you.
I'm just
I'm ready.
I'm doing a Instagram live tonight at lots of different times, but UK is 7 o'clock, and I think Eastern time is 2 o'clock. So yeah, please join on Instagram live. I've got my new pals Elliot and Donna.
Yes.
So we're gonna try and thrash that one out. But yeah, join us if you're there. Yeah, watch.
The problem is I don't have an Instagram, so
Do you know? Oh my God, that's what it's cool.
I'll be seeing patients. I'll be seeing patients, but I won't be able to.
Yeah.
Okay, but what I'll do, I'll repost it out.
But I'll see the taping. So.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you,
This was
Anita.
great. This was so good. I'm going to wait for Rita to win the lottery so that we can have a recital on the cruise ship.
Yeah.
Meet everybody in person.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for the blessings. I really would love to meet all of you.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
such an amazing team, and
I
it's
think
all
these are
because of
really
Onyah.
great programs that we all feel very friendly and really sincere, and nobody is competing with nobody. And
no, here's no competition.
And thank you all for all your beautiful comments. But since I don't know how to type here, I can't reply. So
No problem, Rita. You were great, and we are happy to see you each time you come. So no problem.
no, that of course, even I love to meet all of you, and it's such a great thing to listen to everyone. Everyone's poems were beautiful, awesome, very
And
nice.
And
actually,
you are all beautiful here.
Thank you for
I
the
would
time,
like to
Annette.
ask one question to Annette because she keeps asking us questions. Well,
I thought I wanted to get away with this and nobody would ask.
where do you find this endless energy?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a facade. I really don't have endless energy, but I have a sleep problem, as you know, we discussed earlier, which I won't talk about again right now. But in it, I try to be as productive as I can, but it is an endless energy. Well, I live alone, so I don't have, responsibilities anymore. So that helps a little bit. And
Yes.
I always tell people to keep this and this busy and it keeps you out of trouble. So there you go.
Muhsine, I know the answer. I know from where she takes her energy.
Okay, tell
From
us.
her dogs, from her animals, whom she loves them so much, her dogs. And every day you see her, kissing them and caressing them. And this is her energy.
Yeah,
Her
yeah,
secret.
that's Sadie.
Yeah.
Oh,
You see?
So cute.
wow. She tries anyway. She's been my constant companion. So
right.
when I say I don't have
No.
any children, I do. I have a hairy daughter, but
It's great to be among constellation of writers. I am humbled and thank you, Annette, for creating this platform. You've been a blessing. You have been a strong inspiration. Thank you all. It's nice seeing you, and we hope
You're
someday we'll
all
get
an
to meet
inspiration,
one-on-one.
and you're an
Blessings,
inspiration too,
blessings,
Lucky.
blessings.
And we're
And
happy to
yes,
see you.
one
everyone
more
is.
thing I would like to add that passion of poetry is, growing like anything. Probably now, so many more members into it. It's a great honor to be an admin over there, and I'm so happy how it is growing. I have seen from the beginning when it was started, and
Yes.
till now, the way it is. So it's really, really a big thing for all of us. So cheers for that.
Yeah. Cheers for that.
Amazing.
Yeah, to all of you that it is.
So I
what
wanted
it is.
to, I
So
wanted to add real
thank you
quick
very
too. With Zan's poem, that powerful poem, it struck me. It just looking here. I mean, this is a true testament to what love can be, and we come from all walks of life. We're together, sharing a commonality, and it's just wonderful. I just wanted to point that out because, I mean, her poem was so powerful, and we deal with it on a daily basis, and just there's love is blind. It's love is whatever, and it's just love, and I appreciate and love all you guys for everything you're doing, and
We love you too.
Love.
Right.
Pray.
Blessings all. Blessings.
So love and blessings. Thank everybody for their comments, and you're all, of course, valued, and you are pop. So thank you, love and blessings, and I will send this out later.
And thank you, everybody.
We
Have a
send you
great
too, and we kiss you, and we hug you, and your dogs too.
Someone do a screenshot.
Yes.
I didn't do any screenshots. I don't think anybody did.
You have to,
Everyone
screenshot.
should wish for the lottery ticket. So that we all meet.
Bye, you
Did
all.
anybody make
Have a
the
wonderful
screenshot?
Bye-bye.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Annette.
Bye.
Everyone.
Okay, screenshot. Screenshot.
Screenshot. Did you get a screenshot?
Yes, screenshot.
Yeah, I've got it.
Oh, you got it. Great. Thank you.
I'll share
Yours
it.
is much better then.
I'll share
You
it.
soon, Sarfraz.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'll do it. I think I know I got one before. I
Oh,
got,
yes, you did. It's okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll share it. I'll put it up.
Thank you, Annette. You are great. Thank you. Have a
Bye-bye.
good day. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. इनको बंद ही नहीं करना आ रहा इसके लिए मुझे अपनी फैमिली के खिलाफ क्यों ना जाना पड़े हो गया